Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fish Out of Water channel. I'm your host, Isaac Kim, and I'm ready to talk some basketball for you today. I hope you guys are all having a great day, and let's just jump right into it. Um, so to begin, let's just quickly recap what's been going on in the Western Conference. I made a video about the Phoenix Suns getting absolutely routed in Game 6 at home. We'll see what they do there, but the Nuggets have been a very formidable team, and they're on their way to the Western Conference Finals now. And on the other side, the Lakers just comfortably beat the Warriors in six. I think for most of this series, the Warriors were pretty outmatched. I understand there were some outlier games, specifically the Lonnie Walker game in Game 4 when he went nuclear and had 15 points in the fourth quarter that essentially saved the Lakers series. But for the most part, throughout games 1, 3, and in the closeout game in Game 6, the Lakers soundly outplayed the Golden State Warriors, and they were able to do so with their size, with Anthony Davis, to me, who is currently the best player in the world. That is going to be tested in this next series, which I will dive into in a bit. But that's what kind of happened in that series. You know, to me, real quick, I just want to touch on the Golden State Warriors. This is almost the same team that made it to the or that won the whole thing last year. I understand that there's a couple guys missing, like Nemanja Bjelica, and Otto Porter Jr. And I might be missing some other guys, but for the most part, this is mainly the same team. Instead, you got Dante DiVincenzo, Moses Moody taking a step this year. This is mainly the same team that won the championship. And throughout the year, they've been extremely inconsistent. We all know about the road woes, how they had like a record-breaking um, losing record on the road. They had like 9 wins on the road, but were extremely formidable at home. This was not a championship team. I think it started with, you know, Draymond punching Jordan Poole in the face. That really, divided the locker room apart and kind of led to Jordan Poole having a really subpar year. We'll see what happens with him. Um, maybe he can have a bounce back year, maybe he gets traded. I don't know. But it's clear that the Warriors do need more reinforcements for Steph. Steph Curry is one of the top 2 players in the world, in my opinion, maybe top 3 at worst. He's still, to me, the greatest offensive player ever to play basketball and, still playing at a high level. He's going to be 36 next year, and you're running out of time with him. Obviously, you want to get as much help for him as possible, as quickly as possible, and it's going to lead to a lot of tough questions. We don't know what's happening to Bob Myers. We don't know what's happening to Clay, Draymond. Their contracts are up. The only guy we know for a fact is staying with the Warriors is Steph. So, I'll make another video for the Warriors offseason and what I would do if I were in their position. But clearly, there's a lot to work with here, and it's just going to be really interesting. In this series, it just kind of, I just thought that AD outplayed Steph, and the raw numbers might not suggest it. AD only averaged like 21 a game and 15 rebounds or something like that. Curry had like 26 a game. He just looks like the more impactful player. I think AD did a lot of things defensively that made this team beatable for the first time in their dynasty, outside of injury, of course. Um, you know, this team has been the best team of the decade for sure, and barring injury, they've consistently been dominant. So to see them actually get outperformed without any injuries, without any excuses, it was because of Anthony Davis. The type of style of defense that the Lakers ran in order to funnel the Warriors into the paint. It's something they've never seen before. They've always been able to play rim protectors off the floor, and they've done it to everyone except Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is one of the most gifted players in basketball, and a lot of it is because of his versatility as a rim protector, as a guy who could switch on to guards to stay on the court. So credit to AD, for proving a point here, being the best player on the floor. And real quick in Game 6, it was just great to see LeBron really dominate the floor and kind of just turn the clocks back a bit. There's a lot of questions, and I think it's justified for sure if LeBron is even considered an elite player at this point. And, throughout the playoffs, he's definitely looked like a shell of himself. His 3-point shot's been a big question, but, we see the 3-point shot coming back around. We see him, if he really needs to get into the rim at ease. Andrew Wiggins, I know he had the rib cartilage thing, which is very unfortunate. He had no chance of guarding LeBron when he really willed his way into the paint. Moses Moody had no chance. No one else had a chance. If Draymond was guarding LeBron, nobody could guard AD, unfortunately. So, it's just beautiful to see. As a fan, as someone who's been rooting for LeBron for almost my entire life now, it's just incredible to see him still be able to be the best player on the court with Steph Curry and AD on the floor at the same time. It's something that I don't know if you can count on every single night, but to see that he still has that in him, if he really needs to pull it out, it's just, incredible to see. And, it's a larger part of why the Lakers were able to soundly outplay the Warriors in Game 6 and close that game out in a very comfortable fashion. It's because of how LeBron completely dominated the court through his intellect, through his versatility, and through how engaged he was defensively. Obviously the guard play was also important, but I think the heart of that game was LeBron being able to really garner his strength and kind of dominate on both ends of on the court. Obviously AD was phenomenal once again. The box score might not show it, but what he does defensively is just so incredible. The amount of shots that he's deterred and affected, and honestly, like the Warriors didn't even take against him because of how good he is at the rim. They shot 39% at the rim when AD was around, which is outstanding. I don't think that's a record that's, it's an outlier sort of series. You don't see 39% at the rim when AD's around. So yeah, he's a generational type of player. To me, he is the best player in the world. I know that sounds outrageous considering sustainability and how he's been injured and whatnot. And it's really incredible to see. You know, he's had a good season, but he got injured. There's fears that it was a season-ending injury, and now we're here, the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals with Anthony Davis arguably, being the best player in the world. To me, he is, but the fact that it's even a question is just incredible. What a turnaround for this team, and they're on their way to face the Denver Nuggets. And just wanted to preview that series real quick. Just wanted to briefly go over Game 6. I think there were some takeaways, but the main thing being LeBron James still has it if he really needs it. He's still playing through a foot injury that's kind of been killing him these playoffs. But when he really needs it, he knows how to do how to get to the rim. He still knows how to orchestrate the game. It's just an incredible player. So let's get right into it. Denver Nuggets versus the Los Angeles Lakers. And just, to me, the heart of the game is AD versus Jokic. Specifically, if Anthony Davis can guard Jokic 101. Now, obviously, I think Jokic has gotten to the point where he's going to score like 25, 30 game instantly. And, AD, as good as he is, I don't think that's stopping Jokic. He's still going to get his own. He's not going to be shut down. No superstar ever gets shut down. And Jokic is, to me, the second player in contention for the best player award. The series is so interesting because the heart of it comes down to Anthony Davis versus Nikola Jokic. And to me, this is the fight. There's a lot on the line here. If the Nuggets win, I think Jokic is probably the best player in the world. If the Lakers win, I'd argue that AD is the number one best player in the world. And it's going to come down to that. And I think a lot of it is because of how the Nuggets players are all catered around what Jokic can do as a passer, and how it's so hard to guard him in one-on-one situations. If we go back to the Suns series and the Minnesota series, Gobert had no chance guarding Jokic 101. He basically was lost out there. He had no chance. Jokic could get to wherever he wanted to get to, make any shot that he wanted to get to, cut through some open space, soundly outrun Rudy Gobert. And honestly, his scoring game basically was not hindered at all. And the reason why, actually, before I get to that, for the Sun series, DeAndre Ayton uh, was even more exposed than Gobert was. He, maybe has an athletic advantage, but could not hold down Jokic as a post scorer at all. Jokic just did whatever he wanted on Ayton. And, we all know what happened. Jokic had a 53-point game in one of them. So yeah, the real question is, can AD actually slow Jokic down in scoring? And the reason why we saw Gobert and Ayton just be stuck on an island is because we know that Jokic is probably, oh, he's definitely one of the greatest passers in NBA history. And you can argue that he is the single best passer in NBA history. And to give a full on double team onto Jokic, there's just going to be a layup or an open corner three or something every single time. So it's really hard to commit to the double team. Um, and guys like Michael Porter Jr., who statistically has been one of the best spot up shooters, spot up players in the whole league. Aaron Gordon, who's incredible at getting to his spots and posting up little guys and just dunking on people and occasionally hit the corner three. Jamal Murray, who's great at playing off of Jokic, obviously, as a pull up threat, as a guard threat. Something that the Nuggets don't really have. They don't have anyone that can really create their own offense. I'll touch on that a little bit later as well. Jamal Murray is one of the only guys who can really create his own offense. KCP is a great cutter and great spot up shooter. You got Bruce Brown, Jeff Green. These guys play off of Jokic very well through their size, athleticism, just knowing how to cut, etc., etc. And I think it all just depends on if, in terms of if the Nuggets can be stopped. I think it's all based on, can AD stop Jokic one-on-one. That's going to be the heart of the series. Can AD defend Jokic? Because the thing is, if Jokic is having a hard time on AD, like I said, great players never get stopped. You just got to make it tough on them. If, Jokic gets a nice 25 and 30, but really has to work for it, it gives the Lakers a bit of an advantage here on defense because, these guys that I was talking about, like Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, or actually maybe not Jamal Murray, more like KCP, they really benefit off of holes being created in the defense. And that's mainly made through Jokic, obviously through his passing and his gravity and his kick out ability. And, if the Lakers have to send double teams at Jokic, I think that's going to be a lot of trouble. And the Nuggets are consistently going to create great offense for themselves. They're going to get the better looks if AD can't handle Jokic one-on-one. And it's going to lead to, better offense. And in the scheme of a 7-game series, the Nuggets will probably win. Unless there's a couple outlier games, which is going to be very difficult in a 7-game series to count on. So that is the heart of the series, in my opinion, if AD can stop Jokic. And, to go into each detail, each player and how they have a chance at beating one another in that matchup. Obviously, Jokic is like 20, 30 pounds heavier than AD. He can certainly bully AD, but the advantage that AD has is his quickness, his athleticism, and his length and his smarts. Obviously, DeAndre Ayton had those athletic traits. Not as athletic as AD, but he's still quite athletic. But he did not have the smarts to be able to make it difficult for Jokic. So, yeah, those are the justifications for both sides. I can imagine a world where Jokic is completely backing down AD, and AD is just overwhelmed with his strength and Jokic just gets to wherever he wants. I can also imagine a world where AD is completely locking him up and, using his vertical length and, cutting off that right hand that Jokic always wants to go to in that little short corner, short paint area where he can just touch it in there with a floater or a close shot. This matchup is going to be incredible. And I think it's very interesting because to me, these two have the final say. I think these two are the final candidates for the best player in the world. Currently, I'm leaning more towards AD. He won the championship. I know Jokic has 2 MVPs, but AD's proven to be an NBA champion level player. I'm not saying Jokic is not capable of winning or anything like that. I think I just think you got to give the benefit of the doubt to the champ here, in Anthony Davis. But it's definitely up for grabs. I think whoever wins the series is the best player in the world. Period. As good as LeBron is, I think we know that at this point of his career and his age, this is Anthony Davis's team now, and it's so interesting. It's so interesting because the Lakers have been the best defensive team in the league. Anthony Davis is the single player in the NBA that has a chance at guarding Jokic, in my opinion. Rudy Gobert is no slouch defensively. And I understand that Gobert is more of a rim protector and a pick and roll defender. And maybe his strength isn't guarding the post, but this is still a three-time defensive player of the year, 7'3", has long arms, and has great defensive instincts. He's no scrub on defense. Um, but Jokic was able to completely outmuscle him and just destroy him. And maybe Giannis has a shot, maybe Bam Adebayo, but I think it's been clear that Anthony Davis is the best player, best defensive player in the world. Being able to stop the greatest offensive scorer or offensive player in NBA history, in my opinion, in Steph Curry is, such a feat. No one's been able to do it except AD, and I think that speaks to his defensive versatility and talent. So yeah, and it's also interesting because the Lakers were keying on in this point guard, a perimeter player, but now they're going to have to shift their defense around a center. A completely different style of play where Curry is more off ball. He's a shooter, and everything around him is based on that shooting. Jokic has multiple facets in dominating the game, not just as a shooter, but as a roll man, as a post-up player, as a passer, as a short roll passer. He's got so many ways that he can beat you on the offense, through bully ball, just getting to his shots, getting to his spots, that he's really comfortable with, those hooks, those old school basketball moves that are still effective to this day. So yeah, to me, that's the key matchup in this series. If AD can stop Jokic, I think the Lakers can absolutely win this series. And if Jokic dominates AD, the Nuggets will win this series. Depending on who wins that matchup, the team is the respective team is going to get the easier shots. Like I said, a lot of what the Nuggets, like all the players kind of depend on how Jokic beats AD in that one-on-one matchup. So we'll see how it goes there. On the other side of things, I think the Lakers are actually gonna have a lot of success. Going downhill. Clearly, it's interesting because the Lakers probably faced this is the best offensive team that they're going to face for sure. Jokic is a different animal. They have all the pieces. I think the Warriors really struggled building around Steph in this year. A lot of players, a lot of issues. Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson not really showing up. The Grizzlies have a lot of issues. They cannot score in the half court at all, et cetera, et cetera. But this is for sure the best offense that the Lakers are going to have to defend against. The Lakers are the number one defense in all of basketball. So, if anyone has a chance to take this Nuggets team down, it's them. And it just goes down to if this team beats the number one defense in all of basketball, this is the best team in basketball. And the Nuggets have shown it throughout these playoffs. They've been completely dominant. They completely overwhelmed the Suns, and they completely overwhelmed the Timberwolves. They had no chance of winning in those series, or the other teams did. So we'll see how that goes. But on the other side, this is the easiest defensive team that the Lakers are going to go up against. Memphis has some really big physical guards and perimeter players. That gave a lot of trouble to the perimeter guards on the Lakers and LeBron. Not enough to deter the series, but they could give them some trouble. I know the Warriors had an up and down season in terms of defense, but you still got Andrew Wiggins out there. You still got Draymond Green, who is this generation's greatest defensive player. I only give that over to AD because of his consistency to stay on the floor and what he's accomplished. And the Lakers were able to beat them. And obviously, when you go up against Jokic as a rim protector, you're not very scared of that. I think something that'll be very important in this series is if LeBron can get downhill and score on Jokic because specifically through the AD LeBron AD pick and roll. Um, I think when you think about, let's say, Aaron Gordon probably guarding LeBron, Jokic having to guard AD. I think there's a lot of different ways the Lakers can attack Jokic. First of all, I think through that LeBron AD pick and roll, where through the other series, I think a lot of people mentioned this. The LeBron AD pick and roll has been very switchable. So for the Warriors series, Wiggins would start on LeBron, Draymond would start on AD. If they set a screen of AD sets a pick for LeBron, they can just switch the pick and roll, and there's not really much of an advantage. Same thing with the Grizzlies series. Maybe Jaren Jackson will be on AD, and Xavier Tillman or Dylan Brooks would be on LeBron. If AD would set a pick, they would just switch it, and there would be no real physical advantage unless LeBron just blew by Jaren Jackson, which I don't know if you can really count on considering his foot. But in this matchup, this is very interesting because Jokic is the center of the Nuggets, obviously, so he needs to play the whole game if possible. And if LeBron and AD set that screen and roll, it's going to be interesting because they can't switch the pick and roll here, and it's going to be very difficult for the Nuggets to defend this because LeBron, and as LeBron he's still old, but he's still got, if he goes down his right hand, he's still an incredible rim finisher. He's a great rim pressure guy. And if you go too much towards LeBron, AD is an incredible lob threat. Still, he hasn't really gotten lobs because of how teams are guarding it, how they're prioritizing it. But essentially, in that situation, unless you switch the pick and roll and put Nikola Jokic on AD, or sorry, if you put Nikola Jokic on LeBron, which is not a great place to be in, I think the Lakers are going to be able to generate consistent rim pressure. And I also think the Lakers are going to generate great 3-point looks. And this is where, to me, the X factors for the Lakers are 3-point shooting. I think, it's been very up and down these playoffs. I think as a team, they're shooting low 30s, low 30%. And it's interesting, but they're going to have to kill the Nuggets through the corner three, and specifically through how the Nuggets play their defense. And they basically shrunk the floor against Phoenix by counting on KD and Book not hitting that skip pass to the corner and pick and roll consistently. But you can't do that against LeBron. LeBron's going to hit that corner three every single time. He is probably, if not the best passer in NBA history, the second best behind Jokic. He, in pick and roll, his skip pass is always on the money. He hits it every time. And it's going to be up to guys like Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell, even Jared Vanderbilt, if he gets minutes, to hit that corner three. It's a make or miss league. I think the Boston Celtics just kind of counted on PJ Tucker missing a bunch of corner threes, just living with it. If it goes down to D'Angelo Russell corner threes and rim finishes with LeBron or AD, I think the Nuggets will give that D'Angelo Russell three up. If those guys can hit that corner three, if Lonnie Walker can hit that corner three, I think the Nuggets are in trouble on the other end. I think, one-on-one, I think Aaron Gordon can do a good job. He's very physical, very gifted athletically, can move laterally very well. But I think in terms of, regarding AD, obviously Jokic is a little slow-footed. Maybe you can throw in some Aaron Gordon on if Vanderbilt was to play, maybe you can put Jokic on Vanderbilt. Aaron Gordon on AD, but then you have MPJ, who's historically been a really bad perimeter defender on LeBron. They can do a couple things. But I do think the Lakers are set up for success offensively, especially if they get out in transition. The Nuggets are very disciplined and they don't turn the ball over. So, we'll see. But I do think the Lakers can beat this team in transition. I think the Nuggets were third worst team in transition defensively. So, yeah, we'll see how the Lakers punish him there. But for the most part, I think the Lakers will have success offensively. I think Anthony Davis will have a monster series. He hasn't really put up great counting numbers. Like, he's only putting up 21 points per game. Obviously, most of his impact is defensively, is measured defensively. But I think he's going to have a lot of success. He's a walking mismatch. He's too quick for Jokic. he got that mid-range jump shot that he's been on fire in these playoffs, by the way. He's shooting 47% in the mid-range, which is remarkable. And if LeBron's three comes around, I think the Nuggets will have a handful to do defensively. So yeah, that's the rundown. A couple other swing factors I think that are going to be extremely important in terms of the Nuggets side. Michael Porter Jr. Um, his main value is his shooting and his spot up catch and shoot threes. Um, if he can hit those consistently, I think the Lakers defense can also suffer a lot. To have a 6'10" shooter that can cut and then also hit those threes, those bombs from Jokic. Um, I think that's going to give the Lakers a lot of trouble if MPJ is able to hit. And I think the guards are going to play. The guard play is going to be extremely important. D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves are going to have some big series. And I also think guys like Rui and Vanderbilt, can they stay on the floor? And Rui and Vanderbilt kind of had a hard time against the Warriors because of how, well, for Vanderbilt, it was mainly because of how he struggled with offense. Draymond would completely leave him, or Steph would be able to just rest on Vanderbilt and just help off of him. Can Jared Vanderbilt be a threat on offense? Can he make himself useful? Can the Lakers get away with playing Jared Vanderbilt on offense? And with Rui Hachimura, it's kind of the other way around. I don't think Rui's a bad defender, but 101, I think he really struggled on Steph Curry. And Jamal Murray may give Rui a lot of trouble if they were to switch him on to Jamal Murray. So we'll see what happens there. And I think Jamal Murray is also an important factor. Can he be that true second source of creation that the Nuggets have? Because outside of Jokic, there's no one else that you really trust with the ball in their hands that can get to their own spot, that can create offense. So yeah, I think those are some key swing factors. To me, I hear a lot of people in the media say that Jamal Murray's a better version of himself compared to the bubble. I disagree with that. I think Jamal Murray was on his way to be a top 3 point guard in this league while he was in the bubble, shooting at outrageous rates and hitting some crazy shots, and being able to really navigate the pick and roll with Jokic. But can he be that guy? Can he be the guy that was in the bubble? Can he be that effective? Jamal Murray's a great player. He's gonna have some series, some games where he really changes this series. And if you have to worry about a guy like Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, man, that's a lot of trouble. And I think the Lakers be in trouble there. Yeah, so just wrap this up. Just to go into our predictions, I think this is a tough series. I think this is the best basketball has to offer right now. I think these are the two best teams in the whole NBA. And it's the two best players in the league to me, Anthony Davis and Nikola Jokic, battling it out. We'll see who wins this matchup, but I'm going to pick the Lakers in 6. And, to be fair, this is completely biased. I am a Lakers fan. So obviously I'm rooting for the Lakers. But when I see how I see the Nuggets struggling to defend the Lakers, unless the Lakers are missing, corner threes. I see the lack of rim protection in that paint area to really stop LeBron and AD from going downhill. And I see them having a hard time in transition. On the other end, if Anthony Davis can't stop Jokic, then no one can stop Jokic. Or I won't say stop, but no one can make it difficult for Jokic. I'm leaning towards Anthony Davis being the best player in the world. I understand Jokic has been incredible and he's been an unstoppable force, but he's moving an immovable object with AD. We'll see who wins out that one. And like I said in the beginning of the video, whoever wins this series, whoever wins that AD Jokic matchup, to me, that person is the best player in the world. So we'll see where it goes from here. I got the Lakers in 6. I think they'll close out at home. I think Honestly, I don't know if it's gonna have the same beats as the Memphis and Golden State series, in terms of like who won. But I do think it's gonna follow a similar pattern. Maybe I can see Denver winning game one and then the Lakers winning game two, game three, game four, winning three in a, okay, that's pretty crazy. Winning three in a row against this team. Uh, I don't know. This is a crazy series. I think this is the best that basketball has to offer. Um, Obviously, we have another conference to discuss with the Celtics Heat series. That's also fascinating to me. Um, but yeah, I think I'm not very confident in this pick because I think Nikola Jokic is extremely capable um, to scoring 35 a game in this series. I think the Nuggets have an incredible team. This is definitely the best team that the Nuggets have had this whole tenure with Nikola Jokic. I think it is a step above the bubble. I think people discredit that team a little bit, but I think it's certainly a bit better. They have more depth, they have more guys that they can go to. They have a bit more versatility to how they play because of the certain personnel that they have. But um, yeah, it's gonna be a close series. Um, I got the Lakers in 6, maybe 7. I get that game 7 is gonna be tough in Denver, but I think if anyone can win a game 7 on the road, it's LeBron James, who's done it countless times. So yeah, I'm gonna pick the Lakers in 6. Um, I just not gonna count out LeBron, and I'm just gonna go off my pick on who the best player in the world is, and I believe it's Anthony Davis. Um, those are the two main reasons why I'm going with the Lakers. And I think the guard play and the shooting, the guys will step up. Also, real quick, um, I'm gonna leave a note here. Malik Beasley might be a big factor in this series for his outside shooting. And I think because of how much the Lakers are gonna be able to get in the paint, they're gonna need some excellent shooters. Malik Beasley has been great, but I think this is a series where he can excel in. Yeah. So with that, I'm just gonna wrap up this video right here. Thank you guys for listening. I'm going to cover the Eastern Conference Finals very soon with the Miami Heat and Boston Celtics. I will release that tomorrow in the afternoon. I just want to release this before the game tomorrow night. Today is Monday, so yeah, what incredible playoffs this has been. I think this is the best that basketball has to offer right now. I can't think of an asterisk, to be honest. I think each team the has made the conference finals because they deservedly, are the best team in the respective conferences. Maybe Miami can say that Giannis got hurt, um, so you can say like, oh, maybe there's been an asterisk there, but I don't know. Giannis still played. That's another debate for another day. But incredible playoffs. I'm really thankful to witness this, and I'm really glad that I have a platform like YouTube to talk about it. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys have a great day. And if you want to support the channel, please subscribe. Please like the video, comment, whatever you want. And yeah, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.